How are you today? Isn't technology amazing? On the one hand, sometimes I think technology, and then on the other hand, I think technology, amazing. So, it's a balance, isn't it? But today, I'm so grateful to be here with you all. It has been a whirlwind of a week, lots going on for me personally and professionally. But today we're talking about the 12 reasons, and I did this on purpose because Christmas is coming, and maybe you are somewhere where you listen to the song A Partridge in a Pear Tree, and there's 12 things that they are talking about in this song. And so I thought it's the first day of Christmas, and we have a funny song here in the United States that came out in the 80s, which I really love. You'll need to go listen to it. It's Bob and something, but it's hilarious. Okay, well, I did the 12 reasons self care is non negotiable. And I made some notes and I decided to do this today because I couldn't decide what do I want to do my live on. And most of the time, it comes from inspiration. And I'm always, of course, talking about fear to confidence, but part of going from fear to confidence means you have to nurture yourself and you have to take care of you. And there's a lot of times in life when, if we are afraid to do something, maybe the before part can be how can I nurture and take care of myself so I always feel well resourced and ready to step into that scary thing or that place that I want to go, but I'm just hesitant to do. But if you're well resourced and you're caring for yourself, and then you know how to care for yourself. For example, I got very sick last week and I knew this sickness was coming on, but I was still, it's the holidays and there's activities and there's things to be done. And I have a family and I have a pet and I have work and I have friends and community that I'm a part of. And people want my energy. And so I can become very, very, what I don't like the word busy because that to me can be a very flippant word, but we become very occupied or very filled up in our calendar. And then what happens is we don't self care and give ourselves what we need and end up getting sick. And that's what happened for me. So I was sitting at this Chamber of Commerce event last Thursday, and I was really starting to kind of feel very out of it. And I could tell that my throat was starting to hurt and I wasn't participating in the conversation. And so I knew, and so on Friday, I woke up and I was very sick. So I knew then that I had to stop and I had to slow down. Tell me in the comments if you've ever been in this situation where you're just like pounding the pavement, you're going, and then bam, your body says to you, you can't do this anymore. You've got to stop. You've got to slow down. You've got to take a breath. You've got to take a break. You're going to have to rest. Have you been through this before? Because this is a lot of times what happens to me. And I don't think sometimes we even realize what we're doing. What we're doing because we get so wrapped up in life and what's going on that we forget to check in with our bodies and check in with our mental health and check in with our emotional health. That is very important. So I made a list of the 12 reasons self-care is non-negotiable, especially you all at this time of year. Because it's hello, welcome. It is very, very helpful when we are in this very busy, bustling season. What's that song? The Hustle and Bustle, one of the Christmas songs. Yes, life can be very overwhelming with bills, I'm spending more money right now on my children for Christmas and I'm making things for people and I'm very going to parties. You got to take a gift. It's very busy and you just have to be really mindful of what's going on. Remember, no is a full sentence. And if you ever feel like I was at a meeting last night and this man said, his family always asks him to do all of this stuff over the holidays. And sometimes you just have to say no. You just have to say no. Okay, so let's dive in. I'm on here every Wednesday. Every Wednesday, 12:30 Central Standard Time. This is when I do my live. This is when I come on and I give helpful information If you are a woman 40 plus and you're looking to make changes in your life, and or you're just a person that wants to go from fear to confidence, I give a lot of juicy nuggets, a lot of information, a lot of personal experience about how I have done this. And for the people that I mentor and have mentored many people over the years, giving them intuitive wisdom to help them on their path to go achieve their goals and desires and dreams. But to always remember, it's to know thyself, and that we are here to learn about our journey and the meaning of our relationships. Okay. It's not just go to school, like be born, go to school, get a job, have a family, retire, and die. That's not the meaning of life. And I've said that many times. Okay. So the 12 reasons self care is non negotiable. Number one, you can't lead on empty. You can't get things done. What is that? Donated $100. I don't know what that means. You can't lead on empty. So burnout makes even brilliant women play small. So if you aren't filling your own cup, taking care of you, you can't go out and help anyone else. So I learned something very valuable. We can't give what we don't have. So, let's take money, for example. Let's take money. If you don't have $100 in your bank account, you can't give your neighbor who's suffering with something or maybe needs $100 for something. You can't give your neighbor $100. So if you're emotionally, mentally, financially depleted, you can't give anything away. So you've got to fill your cup. You've got to take care of you first. Then you can give everything away that you want. Okay, don't give it all away, but I'm just saying you can give everything away, whatever you want. Number two, self-care regulates your nervous system. And this is something I've been studying for many years because my nervous system, I feel like, has been out of whack. Because if you're somebody that's been running on empty for a long time, or you've been doing, I like to call it the butcher, the baker, the candlestick maker. When I was in my marriage, I was running on empty a lot of the time until I learned about self-care. And then what I was able to do was kind of prioritize, make a list. What am I going to do? What am I not going to do? What am I willing to give up? And what am I willing to receive? These are all things that I had to learn over time. And so being calm and learning how to calm yourself, and I have many ways that I do this, is something very important. And one of the ways, just one of the ways, and actually I did this morning. I'm still feeling kind of sick, but I went outside. We've got a lot of leaves in my area, and I took my shoes off and I earthed while I raked a few leaves. And so I got the earth, the grounding, the negative electrons in my feet. So being calm is a leadership skill. If there's chaos going on and there's a lot going on in your life and you don't know how to handle it because you're so like whacked out, or you're just like freaking out, then you're not going to be a good leader, and you're not going to have that calm in order to see what needs to take place. When we're calm, the information comes in very clearly. Oh, I'm having a hot flash. Okay. Number three, it models healthy behavior for your kids in your community. If your children and maybe other people are watching you all the time, and I know people are watching me all the time, not just on here, but they're watching me like all over the place, especially my children, then I have to be the role model and the example. So for example, when I was sick last Friday, what did I do? I stayed in my PJs. I laid on the couch. I watched some shows. I slept in my bed for part of the day. So I modeled this behavior because when we're sick, and years ago, I remember this, you all, this is a crazy thing. I remember when I was very sick and I felt guilty that I hadn't cooked dinner. So I was totally sick, cooking dinner for my husband. And even I think my husband said, you don't really need to do that. But I felt guilty, like, oh my gosh, I should have dinner ready for him. This is backward thinking, you all. But that was me. And I had to change that. I had to tell my children the other night, just go to the refrigerator and find what you can find. And if you can't find anything, go buy yourself something and I'll give you some money. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, number four, it strengthens your intuition. You can't hear your inner voice when you're depleted. And this is so true. And I just said that actually a few minutes ago. You cannot hear what your inner voice is showing you or telling you to do if you're depleted. You won't be able to hear it. First of all, because your ears are clogged because you have a cold or you've got congestion. Second of all, you just won't be able to hear it because you're not listening and slowing down and taking care of you. Number 5, it builds self-trust. So every time you choose yourself, confidence grows. And this is very, very true. When you, as I said before, when you are going to maybe do something that's fear-based or scary, if you've got all these resources in place or you know how to self-care and take care of you, you will be able to step into the fear much better because you know you've got a support system or you know you've got somebody that's holding your hand or you feel ready. And so I think that is very important because the more you do it, the more you anchor it into your neural pathways, and then the more confident you become. Number 6, it stops resentment before it starts. So resentment is unmet self-care. And I was actually thinking this morning that a lot of times when we're in resentment, we have to pray about it or we have to think about it. We have to meditate on it. And then if we're resenting someone, we have to pray for them. We have to send them good thoughts. We have to send them love. And also, we don't want to be beating ourselves up saying, well, Melissa, you should have taken care of yourself better, or this wouldn't have happened. And that's going to turn into a resentment towards myself. So number 7, it increases clarity and decision making. So exhaustion creates confusion. And this is true. I know the other day when I felt very poorly, I was exhausted. I felt depleted. My body ached really bad. I didn't know what to do with myself. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know if I should take a bath. I didn't know if I should take some ibuprofen. I didn't know if I wanted to drink anything. I didn't feel like it. And I just felt very confused and sort of lost. And so what did I end up doing? I went up early that night and went to bed. Number 8, it supports emotional regulation. Less reacting, more responding. And this is really important as well because our emotional systems get really knocked out of whack if we're constantly going crazy, doing. And remember, we're not human doings, we're human beings. And so we need to respond to life more, or we need to create actually what we want to see in our lives. Even over responding, it's more like more creation. And I'm going to leave that there. Number 9, it reconnects you to joy. Joy isn't a luxury, it's a fuel. And this is true. Joy, when you are joyful, you want to give more. You want to be out there doing more and sharing and living. And so I think that's important. Number 10, it prevents performative strength. You don't have to hold it all together anymore. Sometimes, us women that are moms or single moms, we just are going to have to let go and let down and cry it out and just be with ourselves. And I was on Friday night, I was home alone and I was watching these movies on television or whatever. And they were romantic movies or something. I don't know about Christmas. And I'm just crying. I am just crying. And it felt so good to do that. Number 11, it raises your energetic frequency. Yes, sometimes we have to go through a period of cleansing where we're sick and then we get healthy again. And it's like it cleanses your energetic system. So we need that because we attract from the state that we live in. And if our energy system is low, it's depleted, we're not going to attract all that good juju and all the good vibes and all the good people and all the good things that we want. And finally, number 12, it reminds you of your worth without earning it, because we matter just because we exist. You matter just because you exist. You don't need to do anything or be somebody like really, famous or powerful. Everybody matters just the way they are, just for being, in this body. And I think that that's really, really important. So real quick, I'm going to share one of the things that I have talked about on every one of my lives is this program I created. It's called Find Your Fire. And Find Your Fire was birthed from me, from my personal experience. And I love this program because I've walked many women through this program and they all have had phenomenal results. This is an online program, it's a self study. You do it at your own pace and you can start it at any time. You can take a break, go back to it. But it's a 5 module program and it's online. And if you go to www.reclaimrebuildrestore.com, you can see there's a welcome video there and there's information, and you can see more about what the program's about. And then you can, if you decide to join, you can just do it at your own pace. And, this is one of the topics in my program, self care, because I didn't know how to do it. And I had to learn the value of self care. And before, I guess it was right before I ended up leaving my marriage, I started learning about this self care thing and how valuable it was. But I didn't understand it so much at first. And it took many years for me to implement and for me to do it over and over and over again. But I would highly encourage you to check out my program. And if you have any questions, you're welcome to email me at melissa@reclaimrebuildrestore.com. So, going on, I just want to give you 12 examples of self care because some people, like me, think that it's just doing bubble baths and getting your toenails painted or whatever, your nails done. That's kind of what I thought in the beginning. And that was good enough for me at the time. But these are some real good tips right here. So, if you got a pen and paper, maybe you want to write them down, or you can just come back and revisit this video. Number one, saying no without over explaining. No is a full sentence. You can just say, when someone says, "Can you come to this party?" No. And if they ask why, say, "I'd rather not share," or "It's just not going to work." Number two, taking a break before you're exhausted. We need to like eat healthy food. We need to drink water. We need to get in the sun. These are all basic things, you all, that you can do every day to not get depleted. Number three, unfollowing accounts that trigger comparison. That's a really good one. Unfollowing on social media accounts that trigger comparison. Have you ever felt like that? I would love to know if you've ever felt like that, because I've definitely felt like that. Number four, going for a walk without your phone. I say this all the time. I've been saying it for years. I tell this to my children. Go to the park, just walk in nature, and don't take your phone. That's very, very important. Number five, eating real food when you're busy instead of skipping meals. And so getting into eating healthy food when you're hungry, and not skipping that stuff, because I've seen people do that, and me included. And what ends up happening is my blood sugar drops and I feel like crap. Number six, going to bed earlier. Even if your house is a mess, even if the laundry isn't done, you just go to bed early. And I did that last Friday night. I got in my PJs, got in my bed at 8:45 p.m. I don't think I've done that in, I don't remember when. Number seven, asking for help instead of powering through. We all need to ask for help more. We all need to ask for help more. And this is something I had to learn over time. Number eight, letting yourself feel your emotions without fixing them. Number nine, choosing silence instead of reacting. Number 10, doing something playful or creative just because. Right now it's Christmas time or the holidays. What you could go buy a coloring book, a beautiful holiday coloring book, and just color and listen to some peaceful music. That right there is a really easy thing that you could do to take care of yourself. Number 11, investing in personal growth, doing things like coaching or mentoring, doing a program like Find Your Fire, or doing a retreat somewhere, even if it's a silent retreat or somewhere where you want to go to the ocean or something like that. I know my priestess teacher is holding a retreat in June, and I'm trying to decide if I want to go because it's very far away. And number 12, keeping promises to yourself, even small ones. You have to take care of you, because self care isn't about checking in or checking out of your life. Self care is about showing up to it fully resourced. And I only know this and I only learned this over time, that being well resourced and having these things that I do regularly really keeps me grounded and centered when I don't feel well or when I feel upset about something going on in a relationship. And Christmas time brings up a lot of crap in people. People are worried about money. People are worried about seeing certain people in their family that maybe they only see at the holidays. People are overwhelmed with the amount of tasks that need to be done. And I talked a lot about this on my last live, but these are some tools or resources that you can do to make your holidays better and life in general better. So maybe you want to try one of them that you can do this holiday season in order to make your holidays a little calmer, a little brighter. All right. Well, I'm going to take care of me now because I've been still fighting, or I should say, dealing with this cold, and I need to drink my tea. But I hope you all have a wonderful holiday week. I'm on here every Wednesday at 12:30 Central Standard Time, and I appreciate the subscriptions, the likes, and shares. But I won't be on here next Wednesday because it's Christmas Eve. And I'm not sure I'll be on here the following New Year's Eve. I hope I will, but I don't know. If I'm not, I'll see you in the new year. And I look forward to connecting with you. If you have questions about my program, again, send me an email at Melissa K. Range. No, that's the wrong one. Melissa at reclaimrebuildrestore.com. You all have a fabulous, fabulous holiday, and I'll see you soon.